Startling numbers on children drowning in Quebec or even near drowning. New research has found that during the summer months, an average of one child a day, I'll repeat this, one child a day goes to the emergency room for drowning or near drowning in Quebec. So let's hope we can give you some information and hopefully contribute to preventing some of these incidents. Dr. Hussain Wissanji is a pediatric general surgeon at the Montreal Children's Hospital. Dr. Wissanji, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me about this study.
Well, as you said, this is a number that is very large. One child a day in Quebec will come to the emergency department for drowning or near drowning during the summer months. So we realized at the Children's Hospital that we were seeing more drowning or near drowning events that was reported on the news, and we decided to look into it in partnership with the Coroner's Office of Quebec and the INSPQ. And what we realized is that for every child that will unfortunately pass, there are more than 10 children that will either come to the emergency room or be admitted to the hospital for near drowning. So the numbers are quite high.
Very high indeed. And a near drowning, I mean, when I hear that expression, I figure, okay, this was a close call, the kid's okay. But as you describe in the study, this is not necessarily the case. There could be serious consequences even with near drowning incidents.
Indeed. So if the kid's okay and everything's all right, most people don't come to the emergency department. So, but if the child is having difficulty breathing or fainted during the episode and is not regaining consciousness, then these family come to the emergency department. And in any case, for even if they do better and they go home the same night, I can guarantee you that for every family that comes into the emergency department for a near drowning event, it's probably one of the worst days of their life.
Absolutely. So if we're talking about one drowning or near drowning in Quebec, and every summer, I mean, I have the privilege of replacing here, filling in on CJAD during the summer months for the last few years, and it seems we always have these stories. We're always talking about these horrific events that happen. The families are obviously traumatized. Why do you think we are not getting better at this? Because the numbers seem to stay stable from year to year.
If families could see what we see in the ED, the numbers would go down. And because if they were to see the trauma that comes in with all these events and the tragedies that happen, so this is why we've been working on and with media like you, and I appreciate the exposure to really bring awareness. I think there's a lot of misconception about drowning. One of them is that a lot of families think that a drowning event will happen just like in Hollywood, lots of noise, and it's going to take a while. But it occurs silently and fast. So within 20 seconds, a child can drown silently.
Okay, let's repeat that. I'm sorry for interrupting, but 20 seconds. That's all it takes.
20 seconds,
wow.
You can lose one of the most precious things you have in the planet.
Yeah.
And when we talk about active surveillance, what we really mean is you cannot let your child away from your side for even a few seconds. And one of the ideas behind this is, if adults often think of water as soothing and calming, but from the perspective of a child, you have to think about it as a flame. You would never let a toddler walk around a bonfire without supervision.
Right.
You would let them enjoy the fire, but you wouldn't leave them away from your sight. And it's the same thing we're really trying to get at with water. It could be very quick, and it could be very dramatic.
Very interesting. So for parents and grandparents, brothers, sisters, for a toddler, water equals fire.
I think
I like it.
Oh, yeah. What I'm trying to get at is you can enjoy a bonfire. You can have fun outside, but you're careful.
But precautions. You have to have the precautions.
And sometimes what we've seen is, what we haven't talked about it, what we'll publish when we get our paper out, is that a lot of these events are mostly on the weekend. And what we've heard about at the coroner's office is sometimes it happens with many people around a pool, because if everybody's watching, maybe nobody's really watching. So you really have to give the responsibility to a few individuals who will always look at the pool, look at the children, and they can take turn. They can can take shifts throughout the evening or the night or the weekend. It's just to allow everybody to keep an eye on the kid and to enjoy their day as well.
So, in terms of do's and don'ts from your studies, from what you've seen in the ER, you're talking about basically being with the child all the time. You can't just be a passive onlooker.
So I guess the prevention strategies will, active surveillance is always important, but let's talk about older children, like a teenager who's swimming in a river or a lake. The knowledge of the capacity to swim appropriately is very important. So swimming lessons are very important. The other thing would be if you use personal flotation devices, that could save lives as well.
So in terms of you're saying weekends, you're around the pool, you're enjoying the summer day, so flotation devices, swimming lessons. The swimming lessons, a lot of parents feel, I can teach my kid how to swim. I think there's a lot to be said about making sure that a professional teaches your child how to swim.
To be honest, I think it depends on everybody how they assess their capacity. If some people are very strong swimmers, and then if you, I was talking about at another with a colleague recently, some people do not have funds or enough funds to pay for swimming lessons. And if that's the case, there is some organization across Quebec that will offer some very discounted swimming lessons for children, especially. But I think it's important to teach your kids and to make sure that they know what's safe is and what's unsafe. Also to let them know that they have to swim with a friend or a buddy when they're in a lake, so they're not alone, so that somebody can call for help. All these messages are important.
So to summarize, what are the absolute musts when your child is near a body of water?
Sure. So let's take the absolute must. I'll take a policy standpoint. By September 2025, everybody who has a pool in their backyard needs the pool to be fenced as per governmental law. We saw in our study that most drownings were occurring in backyards did not have an appropriate fence around their pool, or if there was a fence, it wasn't working well. The other thing is be active surveillance. If there's one message that people can really nail down is fire and water. And the relationship between those two, and how we have to be cautious but still enjoy it.
All right, very important advice. So your studies being publicized right now, is that it?
So the study, we really wanted to do a prevention campaign before the summer. Because of, I'm sure you know how fast academia is, it's going to come out next winter.
Okay, so these are the results. The study itself will come out in the winter.
Yes, which will be very relevant from a media standpoint.
Yes, well, no, but at least you did the work, and the fact that you're coming out ahead of it like this is so important. And you did this. Tell me who's behind the study. It's you and who else?
So the way we built this, it was really a coalition to have the largest prevention campaign we could have. So there's the civil society, the Société du Sauvetage de Québec, there's the coroner's office, INSPQ, and partners with the ministry. So we really wanted to give a big message, a loud and clear message for citizens to feel concern about the risk of drowning in pediatric population in Quebec.
Well, thank you so much for doing this and coming out at the moment you are. This is so important. Appreciate your time this afternoon, Doctor.
Thank you so much for having me.
Dr. Hussain Wissanji is a pediatric surgeon at the Montreal Children's Hospital. Truly, I didn't realize, every year we talk about drownings. It's horrific. Every story is a tragedy. And every summer it seems to be happening. But I did not realize, again, an average, this is from this study, an average of one child a day during the summer months. One child a day goes to the emergency room for drowning or near drowning in Quebec. So that's actually much more, because obviously not all incidents end up in the emergency room. But to think that at least one child this summer will end up in the ER because of a drowning incident or a near drowning incident is a lot to be fearful of. And I hope everybody, you got grandparents out there listening, parents out there listening, brothers and sisters out there listening, this is definitely something to take very, very seriously.